Okay, so this is a tutorial video, little video on how to set up the 600 EXRT. This is Canon's radio remotely triggered flash. And I've also got the STE3 transmitter that we can look at. So one of the first things that I like to do is to set up the custom functions. And what you do is you hold down this little button right here that says ZM/CFN, which stands for Zoom/custom function. You hold that down and it brings it up so that it's got different custom functions. And you can see right now I'm on custom function 01, and it tells me that I have, gives you an icon of the flash with a couple of Z's. So I've turned off the auto off feature. You will set the custom function to 1, not 0. That will mean that it will not turn itself off. And you'll find yourself dead in the water because your flash is turned off. So the next custom function that I want you to look at is number 6. So we're going to roll through to number 6. And you can see as I roll down, scroll down, it changes the number and it shows me which custom function I'm looking at. And number 6, I've got it on I've changed it to number 1. If you push it, it's either on or off, the select set button. And I have it so that, yes, it will give me a quick flash. That way, if I'm firing away, at least I get some light and I'm not losing out on the entire shot. The next function that I want is number 10. And so I scroll down to number 10. One more. There we go. And 10 is the slave auto off function, which you can either have it slave auto off at 60 minutes or slave auto off after 10 minutes. There's no way to turn it off. It's either wait 60 minutes to auto turn off or wait 10 minutes. In this case, I've got it set to turn off after 60 minutes. And so that is set to 0. If you push the button, it goes, oh, which one, 60 or 10? I want 60. So then scroll down to number 11, the very next one. And that is slave auto power off cancel, which allows you from your master controller, your master flash that's on your camera, to if it does to happen to turn off, you can turn off it turning off. You can turn it back on. And so with that, number 11 I want to put on 0, which lets me turn it back on within 8 hours. And then the 13 is the next one we're looking at. And 13 is the meter adjustment setting, and what that lets me do is I don't have to push the set select button, spin the knob to adjust the exposure. I just simply spin the knob, and you can see how it has either just the knob or push and select just the knob. So I set that is set to number 1, and finally the last one that I play with is number 20. Oh, back up one. It's number 20, and that's to turn on the beep. 0 is off, 1 is on, so I set it to 1, and there you go. So those are the custom functions that I do. To review, function number 1 is set to 1 to give me disabled auto power off. Function 6 is set to 1, which is enabled a quick flash. Function 10 is set to 0, which gives me 60 minutes for slave auto power off. Number 11 is set to 0, which lets me wake up the slave within 8 hours. Number 13 lets me use just the dial without having to push the set select button first and then again to set it. And the last one is 20, where I set it to 1 to have it beep. So those are the custom functions on the flash. I also have a custom function that I set on the STE3. And again, let's get into, let's go all the way on here. Hold down this last button that says CFN, that's custom functions. That brings up your custom function button. So with this again, I've got the little icon of the flash with Z's. I've turned off the auto shut off button, and I've turned on custom function 20. So number 1 and number 20, I've turned on the beep. Those are the only two things that I use on this one. Okay, so let's get back to the flash itself. This is the There we go. This is how when you put your batteries in and you turn the thing on, it defaults to this. This is where the flash thinks that it's going to be put onto the camera and you're going to use it as an on-camera flash. Now, in fact, I'm going to use this as an off-camera flash, and I'm going to take another flash and I'm going to put it on the camera. And I'm going to show you how we use the STE3 on the camera as well. So the first thing that I'm going to do, this is going to be my slave, is this little button here with the little lightning bolt. Lets me, I push that once, it says that, oh, it's master now, but I don't want it to be master, I want it to be slave. So I push it one more time and it shows me that it is now set to be the slave flash. It is in group A. I'm going to have a beep and it is ready to set to flash. So I'm just going to set that down. Okay, so this will be the flash that I put on the camera. Again, you turned it on. It has the default screen that it's going to be just a flash on the camera, but I'm going to push this flash icon here that's going to affect whether it's a master or slave. It tells me that it is the master, and right away it starts talking to the slave that's already here. So now we see the green link light that it is linked to it. Now I've seen where sometimes the slave might have, instead of auto, where it says auto, that's what channel it's on. The slave might be on channel 1 and this might be on auto, and they aren't talking to each other. Make sure that your channels are the same on each one. You may have to turn off and on the master flash to let it clear it and lock in. So we put this on the camera and this will trigger the flash. So we have the master on the camera, we have the slave over here. We go ahead and show that the slave is working, and we're all good. Now this is currently set to master, but I'm going to press this button here, the little flash icon button on the left again, and now it is also a slave, and it is still in group A, and it's still on auto as far as the channel. So I'm going to put this on another little stand, turn that on. It automatically links with the two flashes that we have here. Their link lights are green. They are ready to fire. This is where I just turned it on. The channel is auto. I'm talking to all flashes. If I put this on my camera, you can see that they all fire and we're all good to go. I can adjust exposure. This is currently in ETTL mode. I can change the mode so that it goes from ETTL to manual. I can go into the different groups and I can adjust the exposure in manual mode so that instead of 1/1 it's 1/2, 1/4. Accept that, roll down to B, push that select button, adjust that, accept that, roll down to C. So currently I only have, I'm only using A. And so with that, I'm only using group A. This just gives me the exposure compensation, less or more, whether it be in ETTL or in manual. And then all I need to do is push the group button. It says GR right there. That's the button to push to select that group, group A. I want to adjust that exposure. 1/1 is all the way up. That's full blast. You roll it back to less, and each step that you take is 1/3 of a stop. So 1/2, 1/1. Push the select button to accept that, and then I can put that on my camera and go ahead and boom, fire them all. Awesome. Now if you want to have different exposures from these two different flashes at the same time, what you need to do is go into the group and change one of the flashes to a different group. So here I've got this one on group B, the other flash is on group A. Now that I have a group A and a group B, one of the things I want to do is I want to control them individually. So I press menu button once to get where the word ratio comes up. Press that button right there where it says ratio, and that gives me A to B. I'm able to now, you press the group button that selects it, press it again so that now I can adjust that either up or down. 2 over 1, 1 over 1, that type of thing. One of the important things when you first turn this on, in my world, is that I do want to use high-speed sync. And so it's on menu 4, so it defaults to, when you turn it on, to menu 1, so roll through to menu 4, and it says SYNC sync. Press that button, and there's your high-speed sync icon that says, yes, I'm going to use high-speed sync.